And welcome inside the backstage pass. Always a busy day, and of course, a new week. It's Monday, and had a good weekend. I spent time at the beach, enjoyed that too at the same time, and got to take the old RV out for a little bit of a spin there too. And of course, football wise, was busy this weekend, and four more games to go in district play for those Hampshire Finette Longhorns, and we're going to finish the season hopefully in the playoffs. And again, I always say the Sports Guys Podcast.com is where you're at. It's a grand slam of music and sports, and of course, the show out there, WSM Radio, Sunday mornings at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. too. And of course, you can catch it on iHeartRadio, WSMRadio.com, and the WSM Radio mobile app. And this one also, KKTC, True Country 99.9 with her friend Shelly in the morning, and a whole lot more out there too in Taos, New Mexico, and up into Colorado. And a good one here. Her new EP, High Enough, is out there across all the digital platforms. And a new album comes out next week on Friday the 25th. Lexie Hayden to the show. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's a beautiful day here in Nashville. It finally feels like fall here today. We dropped like 10 degrees. It's been a really good day. It's been hot here. So I'm excited to be on with you and chatting.
Well, looking forward to it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Well, let's get a little background for those listeners that may or may not know the name of the artist who is Lexie Hayden. Talk to me a little bit about growing up, the music, and what kind of tickled the fancy a little bit when it comes down to it, as far as artists and things like that. And when did that music bug kind of bite?
I think like you and I have been talking about there was never a plan B.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought about doing anything else, going anywhere but Nashville. Like from a very young age, I loved country music. Like just lived and breathed country music. All I wanted to do was sing country music. I would sing like Faith Hill or Sarah Evans or Trisha Yearwood or whatever on my karaoke machine. And then when I was in high school, I really started writing songs. And I wrote like my first song when I was 14. I recorded my first like EP when I was 16. And then I went to James Madison University in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And I still kind of played all over campus and did all the open mics and performed everywhere and still wrote music and then moved to Nashville probably when I was 21, almost 10 years ago. It's been 9 years here. But it's just always been country music for me. Like, I just don't think I'll ever do anything else.
I'm with you on that too. And if I had a choice to do it, if I could sing, I'd probably be in your profession too at the same time. But I'm gonna stick to the radio side of things too. You just stick with what you're good at. Walk me through a little bit of just those inspirations you mentioned a little bit. What was it about those ladies? And I've talked to Sarah here on the program, a couple of different times, and they just keep going and going. And this women's movement now in country music that you're seeing, this empowerment, with Lainey on fire and some of your friends like Priscilla Block, out there on her own tour, killing it. What is it about the ladies in this female category that kind of fuels that fire for you?
I think that the ladies have had a really tough time in country music, and I think that there have been pockets of time where ladies have really thrived in country music, and one of those pockets was when I was growing up. And I think that when we saw the surge of Sarah Evans and Faith Hill and Martina McBride and Trisha Yearwood and like Shania, and that was all that what I grew up on. And then when I like kind of like right before I moved to Nashville, I felt like there was like a very weird period of time where like there wasn't a lot of females doing like getting on the charts. And the first one who really started to like break the charts when I moved to Nashville was Kelsey Ballerini. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember her debut single, Love Me Like You Mean It, went number 1. And it was the first time that it happened since like 2006 with like Carrie Underwood, Jesus Take the Wheel. And so, I'm inspired by all these females, and I've been watching how females kind of overcome the odds over all these years. And Lainey really is our pride and joy right now. She is holding the shining star for females. And man, I have just nothing but good things to say about Lainey and Priscilla and all that. And I'm just really just like happy like that females are cranking out good music and people are really taking note of it.
Which is great too, and that's the thing about it, is it's in the songs. I love it, the fact that you guys will talk about this EP that you got put out. Of course, the new album across all the platforms called High Enough, which is out there on the DSPs, and of course the new album coming out next week on the 25th. Can I believe we're like almost October, Halloween? Just time is just flying, as you know
I
what.
don't even have a pumpkin yet, okay?
I bought one, or my wife did, for the daughter the other night too. So we're gonna try to paint it with whatever she wants to put on that too. In fact, I think that's what she had, like a doctor's appointment today for my little one, and then she went to get the paint for the the pumpkin. I didn't even take her to a pumpkin patch this year, and I'm looking forward to doing that too. That's always a tradition.
I need to get a pumpkin this week for sure.
You should. I did scare her a little bit in the Spirit Halloween store, the ones that they have that are out and about. We're down here, so she got to go and step on the little things, the little, I guess, the artifacts that are up there too, the ones that make the scary faces and do all the funny things. So you step on the floor and so it kind of, jarred her a little bit too, but that's okay. She'll live. My parents started me out early scaring me on scary movies and stuff like that too. So I'm still here. No doubt about it too. Let's go across the pond to England, because we got a great listenership over there too, especially out there where the show is global, worldwide now. Cumbria, David, appreciate you tuning in. Which songs do you enjoy singing the most, and do you play any instruments? I would imagine guitar is one of those, right?
Yeah. And actually, I just played my first shows in the UK this July. I got to go over to London and play a couple shows, one of them being at London's only honky tonk called the Dukes of Highgate, only official honky tonk. If you were ever in London, or I wonder what was the name of the person who just tuned in?
David had tuned in from Cumbria in England.
I wonder if he's ever heard of the Dukes of Highgate, but if you go to London, it's like Nashville in London. It's so cool. Yeah, I learned actually piano first. Piano was my first instrument when I was young. My mom played piano. I took piano lessons like in elementary school, and then I picked up a guitar when I was 14, and guitar became my main instrument all through high school. Now it's harder for me to keep up with piano because I don't have a piano here and I don't have a keyboard, but my parents have a grand piano, so when I go home, I play the grand piano.
That's always a good thing, and being versatile in this business to play more than one instrument too. Well, I tell you what, time to hear some music, and we're going to dive into the High Enough EP, which came out there September 27th across all the platforms. I know you got the guitar on standby. What are we going to hear first?
Well, I could play High Enough. I was ready. I got my hummingbird ready here.
All right, let's do that one there. The title track of the 5-song EP, which came out there September 27th, and we'll talk about the new album coming back, and we'll tell you all about this song. It's all yours. Take it away.
And I'm going to play, this is a duet. So Jason's not here. Yeah. So I'm just going to sing his part. Okay?
All right. It's all yours.
I've had smoke rolling off my lips. Held on too long to a hand-me-down head. I've been drunk, stumbling home. Watch the wall spin from the bathroom floor. I like to buzz when I'm 2 tequilas in. Can't get enough till it's too late to quit. Sunrise, glaring, swearing I won't do this no more. When it comes to you, just give me everything to prove, yeah. Yeah, every time we touch, you make me feel that rush. I just can't get high enough. I want you in my veins until I can't see straight. I just can't get high enough. Ooh, I 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 can't get high enough. Yeah, every time we touch, you make me feel that rush. I just can't get high enough. I want you in my veins until I can't see straight. I just can't get high enough. Ooh, I can't get high enough.
I love it. Energy, power in that one too. And that's the title track of that EP that came out there September 27th. Back here, Lexie Hayden, the backstage pass. We got to take a quick time out here, pay some bills, of course, and get after it here. The CadenGordonShow.com, today's best country mix, and a whole lot more here It's the Backstage Pass KKTC True Country 99.9 and across all the other affiliates out there. Back with more. It's Lexie Hayden. We'll talk about the new album and a whole lot more. Stay tuned. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Alan Price as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune in to the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com each and every Sunday morning from 5:30 to 6 a.m. on your home for the Grand Ole Opry, AM 650 WSM.
The Hayden Gordon Show is a 2-hour show playing the best in country music. So check it out at thekaydenGordonShow.com. Again, that is thekaydenGordonShow.com.
And back here, Lexie Hayden on the show, KKTC True Country 99.9, Towson up into Colorado. And of course, out there, WSM Radio, the home of the Opry every Sunday morning. This week's guest, guess what? You got to tune in to find out who it is, because I'm in between the mix of, I don't know yet. I've just got a bunch taped, and we'll figure out who it is come Sunday morning. It'll be up on the SportsGuysPodcast.com, powered by that website, and of course on iHeartRadio out there too as well. Back here, High Enough, the new EP, and of course the new album. Let's dive into this one here. We'll dive into the song first real quick before we talk about the new album coming out October 25th from Lexie Hayden here. High Enough was the title track of this one, September 27th when you rolled this out. How did this one get started?
Well, to be fair, that was me waterfalling the release. So High Enough was the last single before the record. So the full record is going to be called Counting Rainbows. I started writing it last March. And it was because I watched the TV show Daisy Jones and the Six. Have you seen that show?
I have not. I need to check that out. Yeah,
okay, you got to check it out. It's a book and it's a show on Amazon Prime, and it follows around a fictional band from the 70s. And it's loosely based on Fleetwood Mac. And the music in the show is incredible. And it inspired High Enough for sure. Like in the video, the High Enough video, we have a mic, like the standalone mic in between us. And they do so much of that in the show. The two lead characters, the guy and a girl, and they sing all these duets together. They write all these songs. And so I was like, I want to write a record that feels 70s, that feels retro, that feels groovy, that just like feels good. And so I just started going into every writing room and telling everyone that I was writing this project. And everyone was just so excited to do something different and write something a little out of the country box. And I was able to get 9 songs, which I would have had a million if I had more money. But 9 songs is where we landed. So it's technically my first album. It'll be my debut full-length album. I've never put out more than an EP. So I'm really pumped.
I would be too, no doubt. And LexieHayden.com, good place to go. And of course, I'm sure there's going to be, if not already, a pre-save link or button put out there.
It's coming later tonight. It's coming later tonight.
So all you guys listening, KKTC True Country 99.9, we're going to talk about it tomorrow morning on the call with Shelly in the morning, and of course out there too on our radio show, and of course everywhere we're at, iHeartRadio, and of course everywhere you guys know where to find me. We'll talk about it and get you guys linked in the right situation there to go find that pre-save link. And of course next week, October 25th, the full-length album comes out. Let's talk about another one off of there, which was pretty amazing. Nothing to Be Friends About. Now, if there was a country song that had a great title, that was it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that was one of my favorites. I was going to play it, but now I'm glad you brought it up. I actually came up with that title while I was at lunch with one of my friends, and we were talking about a celebrity couple who obviously is hooking up. Like, that couple, you're just like, yeah, we're not dumb. And I asked her, I said, do you think they're hooking up? And she said, oh, please, they have nothing to be friends about. And I was like, ding. And I went into my writing session the next day and we wrote this song. And the day I got the demo back for Nothing to Be Friends About, I burned it out. Like, I listened to it so many times. I was like, this has got to be single. Yeah, it's one of my favorites off the record for sure.
Well, no doubt. Another one on there too was really cool that I thought we just kind of felt the vibe of Fingertips. Let's dive into this one a little bit.
Yeah, that one also was a super fun one to write, and I wrote it with a big pop writer, which is why I think that that song became, it's probably the most pop heavy on there in terms of like the elements. It still has that like groove and that disco and that vibe, where it just kind of feels good, but I do feel like a lot of the repetitiveness is very pop friendly. And so I wrote it with this girl named Asia Whiteacre. She co-wrote like Starving. I didn't know that I was starving till I tasted you. She was Carly Rae Jepsen, Haley Steinfeld, all that. And so I think she had a lot of fingertips. Um, but yeah, that one was super fun to write. That one's super fun to play with the band,
Mhm.
too. Yeah.
I love it. Danny has that feel for it. Hey, go back to your first one, I believe, which was December 2020. That first album. When you look back at "You Heard Right," which was I got a chance to review a lot of the good material on that, and the artists talk about from the first EP, whatever songs you can get out there, 3, 5, 7, 8, whatever. Now you're doing 9 for next week on the new release too. Talk about just the growth and what you remember best about that first album with that title track, and of course. One I loved off there, wish you would have cheated. That was one of my favorites off of there too, which I loved. Just the growth that you see from 2020 now until 2024.
Yeah. And actually 2020 was the You Heard Right EP, and that was just the worst time. I would say it was like the best of the worst times. I mean, it was like we're in a pandemic, right? So I wasn't planning on releasing an EP in a pandemic. And I started releasing the singles before the pandemic. And so I kind of like got to March 2020 and I hired a publicist, and all of a sudden the world shut down, and I had to figure out how I was going to release this EP when the world was shut down. Couldn't play live shows, couldn't go on the road, couldn't do TV interviews, couldn't do anything in person, and it really just came down to live streaming, like this. Like I was doing so many live streams for You Heard Right.
Mhm.
And then I mean the EP ended up being just a big moment for me, and I mean I released it independently. It has over 1 million plays on Spotify alone, and my producers and everyone involved in the project, I feel like it definitely got me. It was a big stepping stone for me. Like I released that EP, and everyone was like, "Okay, this girl can write really good songs. She can sing. She can put out a project." And that was the first time that Bobby Bones had given me a shout out, on any of my stuff since moving to Nashville, and he put the EP on his Bobby Cast on the podcast. And that was the first time he had like publicly acknowledged my music since, I don't know if you read this, but I was an intern there in
I remember.
2014.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, I read that somewhere too, and I said, you know what, she's turned into one hell of a musician right now too, which is really cool. That's the cool thing is there's so many great people. We travel there 4 or 5 times a year, at least I know with my show and the brand, and now I'm going to be able to do it with a mobile studio, which is still crazy with an RV to come there and just talk about all this great music. And you learn so much from a guy like that who's been in business for a long time. And when I see certain breakout stars, I'm like, I got to go after them. I got to get them. I got to get them. And then you see so many talented songwriters, Lexie, like in that town, and it's just they don't get the credit they deserve sometimes. But when you guys do branch out and become your own artist because you were a great songwriter. Talk about just the mix of being a great songwriter and turning that over into a successful artist.
I think it just goes one and the same. Like, just for me personally, like every cut I've had as a songwriter has just been me writing with friends. Like I've never had a publishing deal. I've never signed a publishing deal. So everything that's happened for me has just been super organic, and it's just happened because it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
AKA, writing My Bar with Priscilla Block. That was just like a day. We wrote this song, and she wasn't even signed. And we left the right, and I was like, this is a Priscilla song. It didn't feel like a me song.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had a lot of those instances where I've felt like, no, I want this song. I want to keep the song for myself. I have one song this year that I was going to release as a single. It got put on hold with a big artist, and it has been on hold since then. And that one was pretty hard to let go of. And I think at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for the song.
Yeah.
But I mean, it also comes and goes in phases. Like right now I'm in an artist time period. I'm not really writing. I haven't been writing the most of the past 6 months because I've been like headfirst in this record and just getting this record out and making it perfect. Now, once this record comes out, I'll probably go back into writing again and I'll be back into a writing headspace. So I think you've got to give yourself, for me, I have to give myself a little bit of time to do both because it does get really overwhelming when you're trying to be an artist and put out a record and play shows and write. Like, you got to have seasons.
That's an excellent way to describe it right there, too. And thank God one of our seasons now is fall, and this record comes out October 25th, coming up next Friday, too, with 9 songs. Can't wait for that, too. And LexieHayden.com, and the pre-save link comes out tonight. So make sure you guys check that out. What's on the docket now for the second performance? I can't wait to hear it.
I'm going to do Nothing to Be Friends About.
All right. Here we go. One of the best. Take it away.
I see you walking over my way. What are you doing in the same place as me? Think it'd be rude of me to not stay. Guess you could take this open seat next to me. You ain't that bar type, so baby, what you doing here tonight? We can try, baby, try. Lie, baby, lie, we both know it's a lie. Talk, we can walk, we can dance around it. But I wanna sip away from leaning in for a kiss. Who are we fooling, baby? We both should know by now. We got nothing to be friends about. I thought we talked about this last time. We keep on crossing over that fine line. Thought you hate country music, they're playing Western songs. You're looking at me and you're singing along. Try, we can try, baby, try. Lie, baby, lie, we both know it's a lie. Talk, we can walk, we can dance around it. But I'm one sip away from leaning in for a kiss. Who are we fooling, baby? We both should know by now. We got nothing to be friends about. You ain't the type or type, but I ain't mad that you show up here tonight. We can try, baby, try. Lie, baby, lie, we both know it's a lie. Talk, we can walk, we can dance around it. But I won't sip away from letting you steal a kiss. Who are we fooling, baby? We both should know by now. We got nothing to be friends about. Ooh, we got nothing to be friends about.
That's how songs come together. Nothing to be friends about. I tell you what. That's her great country song. And the energy she brings to it. Lexie Hayden back here, the Backstage Pass, KKTC, True Country, 99.9. And our friends over there, of course, WSM Radio, WSMRadio.com. And Wake Up Tomorrow. Coffee, Country, and Cody out there, too. And tell them, like I said, the Backstage Pass sent you there, too. Because once I get locked into it, I listen all day long. And to KKTC, True Country, 99.9. Of course, we're back with Lexie Hayden coming up here in a few minutes. Quick time out here. We'll talk more about the new album and some songs off of there. And we'll do a little bit of rapid fire. You know, we got to have a little fun here on the show, too. Some fun activities, some hobbies away from music, and maybe some sports questions, her favorite team, stuff like that. You never know what's going to come up in the rapid fire segment. Coming back here, Lexie Hayden, the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Alan Price as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com each and every Sunday morning from 5:30 to 6 a.m. on your home for the Grand Ole Opry, AM 650 WSM.
The Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
And back here on the show, the Backstage Pass, again powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Of course, Alan Price out there, Brandon Morrill, Heath Gilcrease, Sherry Cranford, the whole team. Appreciate everything they do behind the scenes, and our friends at KKTC True Country 99.9 and out there too, WSM Radio Sunday mornings, 5:30 to 6 a.m. If you're not up that early, hey, they're always on iHeart and the website there, the SportsGuysPodcast.com. New album from Lexie Hayden due out next week, October 25th. 9 songs. Look forward to that. Pre-save link tonight. Make sure you guys go to the Lexie Hayden social media pages and just pre-save the link because you know it's going to be good. I'm telling you to. I've been doing this for a long time. You've heard it here on the show, so what more proof can we give you than that right there too? Again, high enough the EP across all the platforms. Get the streaming numbers up, all that good stuff out there. All right, let's have a little fun here because the new album comes out next week. And when not doing music, you mentioned really just like all into this album right now. But when you do have what little bit of downtime there is, what do you get into for hobbies and things like that?
So I have a bike. I do like to bike a little bit. I love to walk. I love any kind of like crafting, rhinestoning, painting, anything creative that gets me out of that space. I do like reading. My mom's got me really into reading. I've been reading a couple books this year. Honestly, just I like to be outside. Like I prefer to be outside doing something, doing an activity. I really wanted to go horseback riding for my birthday. I love to swim. Went to the lake a lot this summer. Really, just anything outside is my joy.
I like that too. Now, when it comes to food, I'm no stranger up in, well, I say here in Texas too, but specifically all over parts of the country, but it's especially Nashville when it comes down to choosing a favorite restaurant. I love all kinds of food like everybody else too. And then I use the gym to escape it because then you got to go like, burn off the calories that you just ate, whatever, if you want to continue to eat what you want to eat. But I have this thing with hot chicken. I'm trying to settle this debate in Nashville too, that I haven't tried everything, but I've tried 2 places. I've done the Hattie B's on Broadway, and I did the, what was the other one we did? Oh, the Prince's Hot Chicken, which was the original OG. Not the actual location on Broadway, but it was a little bit further out in a different part of town. But still, between those two, I'm a Hattie B's guy. I guess 1, do you like hot chicken? And then 2, added on to it, what would be your place? And then maybe some other favorite restaurants to throw in there where you like to eat.
What's funny is that my friends are here right now. One of my friends from high school is here, and yesterday she was like, "Oh, so like, do we have to get hot chicken?" She was like, "We're in Nashville, like, we need to get hot chicken." And they were like, "Our Uber driver told us Hattie B's or Prince's," which is exactly what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I like hot chicken. I like really spicy things, and I like spicy food. I've never done like the hottest hot chicken. It's like I like hot chicken, but then you pay for the consequences after. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to choose your battles here. So I don't eat hot chicken a lot, but now I'm like upset that I didn't take them to get hot chicken. I guess we still have a few more hours. I'm trying to think of where I did take them this weekend. We went to Laney's Bar. As far as food, I love wings.
Okay.
I'm a big wing girl, and we went to the Nashville Palace to eat on dinner on Saturday. Nashville Palace is one of my favorite spots in Nashville. Scoreboard Bar and Grill, all of that up in Music Valley. I love sushi. We've got some good sushi spots here in Nashville. It depends on if you want to go good sushi for like not being near a water, you know what I mean? But I would say wings. I love wings. And actually, don't knock the listening room food. If you ever go to Listening Room Cafe, they've got a good menu there, and they've got good wings, and they've got a hot chicken sandwich.
I want to check that out too. I haven't gone to the Listening Room's food, but I'm with you. Hattie B's, and then of course whatever I can find. Italian food or tacos. That's my 2 weaknesses when it comes to Mexican food, and it comes to like Italian food that has like pasta or pizza, because I want those carbs, and I'm like in the weight room just like training and lifting and doing all this stuff too, and I'm just like, man, I've got to have those carbs, and everybody just like craves them. And my daughter, she's on this bread kick now. Like everything has to be bread. If it's not bread, I'm not going to eat it. So it's just one of
All
those
I've
things.
eaten this weekend is carbs, so it's time for me to eat some vegetables once my friends leave.
Hey, I put the apples back, so fruit had to become an important part of not really the diet, but like watching the calorie intake, which is close enough to a diet too. I remember, speaking of Priscilla Block, she actually came out with that song "Thick Thighs," which was kind of funny because I thought it was one of the best ones ever written from a country song. And she said, "What was that? What's the saying in there? There is no, you can't spell diet without die or something like that." It was one of the lyrics there. It just popped into my head too. Did you love that song?
Yeah, and what's funny is that song came out like well before she was like famous or anything.
Yeah.
Like that song came out like a while before, and then she got famous, and it's like that song like blew up
Mm-hmm.
once she was famous. And I just think it's her brand. I mean, as long as I've known Priscilla, like she was on a diet, like she was always dieting and trying to lose weight. And I think she's just really come into her own, and like I think she works out, she takes care of herself, but I think she's no longer like, she's like owning it. She's like, it's cool, like I have thick thighs, like other people out there have thick thighs, like let's stand together, let's do it.
Great song. I love it so much too. Tell you what, I love the music out there. The pre-save link comes out tonight and a whole lot more. I did want to ask you this too when it comes to the new album too and everything there. When it comes to sports teams, do you get into anything that's out there between pro, college, anything like that sports-wise? Tell me about that.
I'm so glad you asked.
Good deal. I like
I'm a Titans fan.
that. Okay.
Unfortunately, um, I started playing at the Titans games in 2021. They started having what they call street performers,
Mm-hmm.
tailgate performers. And so it was me, Timothy Baker, and May Estes. We were the first three to be the street performers for the Titans. And so I've become really involved with the Titans. I played at the game yesterday for the 2 hours leading up to the game. And so just being around that, they buy us all the Titans gear. They let us shop in the pro shop. They let us come to the games. And so I just through them, they've been so warm and welcoming to artists and songwriters here that I've become so involved with the Titans. They're not doing so hot this year. But I grew up in Virginia, and so my team was the formerly Redskins, who also are not very good either. So
Well, they got the Commanders, I guess, now. But I love that quarterback, Jaden Daniels, who's really coming to his own out there, too. Heisman Trophy winner, LSU, and 4-2? I think atop the division now, too. So Washington, you can't really speak of the Cowboys. That's a different topic for a different day, too. I don't root for them, too. But see, my team is out there as the Arizona Cardinals out west. And I just love being out there and fell in love with the team years ago and with Kyler Murray, things like that, too. So always fun to do it. And the team that's doing well here in Texas, unfortunately, it's not the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Houston Texans, which a lot of people didn't think were going to get back that fast, which is in the division with those Tennessee Titans in Jacksonville and Indianapolis. So there's still plenty of football to play out there, too. So glad you guys get to do those street performances for up-and-coming artists like yourself. High Enough is the current EP across all those digital streaming platforms. LexieHayden.com is where you need to go to check out all the music. And, of course, the new album, October 25th, coming up there next week. 9 songs. And the title of the album, remind fans of that again?
the title of the album is Counting Rainbows.
Counting Rainbows. So don't forget about that too as well. And if you have a daughter out there like mine, she loves rainbows. She loves unicorns. So you can't forget about Counting Rainbows out there and LexieHayden.com. Hey, we appreciate you being with us. Looking forward to catching up when I get to CRS or maybe some other events in 2025. So glad you could come on, share some time with us too as well. Hope you enjoyed it and would love to have you back anytime, no doubt.
I would love to be back. Thank you so much for interviewing me. And I would love to see you when you come to Nashville.
You got it. We're going to have a bus there, too. A 2007 Allegro Bay motorhome. Looking forward to that, too, out there and putting some logos on it, having a good time and just doing what we do best. Drinks, food, having artists come play music, and having kind of our own, street concert out there, which will be kind of cool once we figure out some venues and things like that. Don't forget to tune in this week, WSM Radio, Sunday morning, 5:30 to 6 a.m. out there, too, with special guest, unknown right now, but it's going to be a cool surprise once I release it this week, too. Let's just say he's a famous comedian out there. I'll leave it at that, too. At the same time, you guys can figure out and go through that. And then, of course, weeknights, KKTC, 7 days a week, True Country, 99.9, 6 to 7 Mountain Time. And, of course, out there, HighTideCountry.net, always on iHeart and the Sports Guys Podcast.com. So many ways to find it. We'll see you guys tomorrow with another great guest out there, too. And, of course, more live shows coming up this week. And tell you what, more great things coming up over the next few weeks across all the platforms. We'll see you soon. God bless. Take care.